Okay, I'm back. Literally, like, I literally just stopped it and started again. Um, but this is actually gonna be the first one, so I'm not back. I'm forward. No, I'm here. Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is another episode of Passenger Seat. I do not know where we're at. It's totally okay. I am going to be talking about my ego death because I'm so mad. I did a video on it and it did really well, but the storage only went and fucked me over in my own phone. So that's so fine. I've got a new phone now with 256 gigabytes or whatever the fuck it is, and I've never been more free. How did I ever live off 64? I will never know. How people live off 32? I will never know. Anyway, um, but yeah, we're just gonna talk about. I'm gonna call it an ego death, okay? And you've got to have a really open mind for this conversation. Oh, let me get. Wait. um you got to be really open-minded for this conversation, um and just kind of hear where I'm coming from. I honestly don't know if ego death is the most correct term, if I'm being so honest. I think it is. When I looked it up, I was like, okay, that sounds about right. So let me just get some air in because it's fucking hot in here and it's June. Anyway, but we're going to talk about homeopathy. We're going to talk about trauma. Not a full-on dump, but just an idea, you know what I mean? I don't have to dump that all on you. I don't think I really want to, but anyway, so we're going to talk about. Oh my god, okay, let's crack on, for fuck's sake. So I went to St. Lucia last year in December, and I really recognized how I react to men, right? Let's just talk about it. I feel like every woman on this planet unfortunately has a deep fear of men because of past trauma, a past scenario. It's a very common thing. Unfortunately, men do fucking better. Um, but I digress. And I recognize when a man that's constantly in my life, or typically in my life, he wasn't there for the first part of the trip, but the day that we crossed over before we left and he came, I felt the anxiety I completely forgot I had in my body. This deep, deep fear, cold sweats, palpitating, struggling to breathe, putting on that instinct smile to act like nothing's okay so they can't criticize how you're looking at them. Um, and yeah, just being so skeptical of what they're going to say, their actions, their body language, because it really can just switch like that, which is so fun. Love to keep me on my toes, don't you? Love it. Anyway, fuck it. But yeah, sorry, I've got hay fever. Excuse the sniffles. It's actually grim, and it's probably like the most isolated sniffle you're ever hearing in your life. Anyway, um, but yeah, I was just like, I completely forgot I had it. Like, you enjoy your trip so much in St. Lucia, like, come on now, St. Lucia, and then the day the one day they come and the day before you leave, you're reminded of it instantly, and it's like, fuck, like it hits you like a ton of bricks isn't heavier heavy enough. It's just so intense. And I came back from that trip and I was like, full backstory just quickly. I've been raised by a relatively holistic, yeah, no, I'd say not relatively, a very holistic, a very hippie in some ways, mum. She's got it from her mum, so my granny. We like, my mum is currently studying homeopathy, which is so sick. She's so smart and I'm so proud of her. She's juggling so much and yet thriving. Honestly, women are just so iconic. I can't even, like, iconic isn't a strong enough word. Anyway, so I've always been holistically treated in certain things, you know. So hay fever, allow it. Give me the fexofenadine today. I got it today, literally. But I do try and use it as much as I can. And my mum is always very encouraging of it. And I love it. I really do love it. I feel like as a teen, like when I was a teen, even up till like really recently, I used to be like, oh, for fuck's sake, stop shoving this bullshit on me, this placebo. Because no one wants to hear that it's such an easy fix. You know what I mean? No one wants to hear that, it's that simple. You want it to be a problem because you're feeling it's a problem. You know what I mean? You're just so in that mindset of like, oh, I'm so pissed off. Don't make it out like it's easy right now. Just just listen to me and be like, yeah, totally get it. You know what I mean? Like, I really hate that. Just generally when people don't read the room. Like, you can tell I'm ranting, you can tell I'm angry. Like, just be like, I fucking get it. That's all I ask. Anyway, but my mum, and I'm kind of a bit hypocritical because I've got it from her. I'll just be like, oh, why don't you do this? Like, maybe let's try this. You know, like, she's a very problem solving person, and I love that. That's a really cool quality and something that I, in turn, am gradually getting over time with age. Amen. And I'm kind of being back around with her, which has been really nice. But anyway, let's zone back in. So I came back and I was like, Mum, I'm really, really struggling. No, I'm really, really over the power this guy has over me. I'm really over it. Like, I'm fucking over it. I don't want to feel this way every time he walks into a room. I want to be in a position where I do not give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I want to just live for myself because, God, the impact of an abuser is so crippling. It stopped me from going on dates. It stopped me from doing things that I want to do. I'm always living in fear. And it's so funny when you have one parent that is so trusting in you, and then another that is just always holding, like, keeping that on top of you. It's just like, fuck. Like, it's so hard to navigate. It's so hard. Anyway, it's so fine. But I was like, Mum, I'm really over this fear. I don't want this to cripple me anymore. I'm at a point where I just want to live for myself. I want to be selfish. I feel like the word selfish has been given such a negative tone. No, being selfish is totally okay. Like, if it's not, I don't know, maybe selfish is the wrong word. I feel like selfless can be so easily abused. Being selfish, but not to the point where you're like, I don't know, or impacting other people, is a totally reasonable position to be in. Am I missing something? But I was like, Mum, I just want to be in a space where I feel so relaxed in my body. And I was talking to her a couple of months before that, and I was like, Mum, ever since um an assault I was physically assaulted, I've always felt really I felt like something's been missing. I felt like something's been missing for about the time it happened up until, like, recently, right? Sorry, it's flipping boiling. Um, Typical for me to have a passenger seat thing. This is kind of why I'm doing it in the evening, but there's, like, no lighting, and my the ring light that I thought I had is not a ring light. It, like, changes different colors. Anyway, but what was I saying? Quick, you got this. Um, oh, I always felt like something was missing, and I just could never pin what it was. Like, I used to tell my friends, like, I feel like one day my body is, like, just kind of looking after me, and then the second, like, and then another day it'll be like my mind pushing me just, like, to get over, a depression, or, like, not depression, like, I guess I was in a constant depression, I just didn't realize it, but I just felt like I was always on co-pilot. Like, no, not co-pilot, autopilot. It was like my body was just kind of going through the motions, but I just wasn't there. And I was thinking it was initially a mind and body thing, but I swear to God, like, as much as I've not enjoyed being at home, I feel like it was really it happened for a reason. I always believe this. I feel like when you've got a hippie family on one side, actually, I feel like most of my family generally are very spiritual. Um, but when you're around that space, like, of hippiness, you really, really do recognize that everything happens for a reason. As much as you're not happy in the position that you are, you've got to see the change, that the positive change it has done to you, right? But when I came home, back in my old room, back in an old space where, a lot had happened that I didn't really want to resonate with anymore, but I feel like that was the problem. I came home, I left for uni just with the idea that I could just leave it behind me. What? What do you mean? Nobody fucking works like that. Why are you You're like, no, let me just forget it happened and just crack on. Do you know what I mean? And I remember I was trauma dumping a lot the first year because I just thought, like, no one else talked about it when it happened. Like, in within the people that it happened with, like, the next day it just went on as nothing happened. So I was like, okay, then it must have been just like nothing fucking happened then. Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, well, fuck it, let me just tell people. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I found people, especially in the first year, that kind of got it to some degree. But then I found out they were kind of using it against me, which is really cute. So thank you. Um, but yeah, I was definitely in a space where like I was like, let me just leave it behind me. Let me move on. Let me actually just move on. But no, that's not how you move on, girl. Don't do that. If for anyone that's hearing that, don't fucking do it. It's not worth it. Um, at all. It catches up with you inevitably. Just crack on with it straight away. Sorry, I know that's really harsh and easier said than done because I didn't do it for a reason. You know what I mean? It's a really tough pill to swallow, and I'm still trying to swallow that fucking pill. It's like it's still shoved and like stuck. You know, like stuck at the middle of my throat. I can't swallow that shit. It's just still there. It's still there, or it's like by my chest, the most uncomfortable place right now. Like, do you mind? Just go down for fuck's sake. I've drank so much water and it's still there. Anyway, sorry, I lost complete track. Um, but what was I saying? What was I actually saying? Come on, Charlie. Come on, Charlie. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. But yeah. Oh yeah. And then so sorry, I'm back. So um yeah, I was just saying to my mom, I was like, I feel like something is missing. And I shit you not, it's almost like left my inner child. I always think about this bitch, right? Not bitch, sorry. But I did not like her. I had like a mentor during school. Like she did she did therapy for me, whatever you. And she used to be like, "You're inner monkey, you inner monkey." Are you being racist right now? You know what I mean? I feel like I've come a bit susceptible to it because I'm in a really predominantly white place. So are you just trying it just to see how far you can go? But she was kind of, she was kind of, you know, what the fuck is the word? Grab the word now, grab it. Uh, she was kind of alluding to the inner child thing, right? I don't know why she went to monkey, cheeky bastard. But anyway, so like it's almost like I left my inner child back home and I was really faced with it. I was really faced with this old feeling. And I feel like people make out that it's like, oh, an inner child, an actual inner child. No, it's like that past emotion, that past feeling. But I don't know, personifying it to your like your inner child actually makes it so much simpler. It's so funny when you're in a more healed and open-minded position, everything makes more sense. When you're in a defensive mode where you're like, oh fuck off, leave me alone, you just think it's all bullshit. It's really funny. It's really funny. Like having that perspective is actually insane. But yeah, I was like, Mum, I swear there's just like something that's been so different about me ever since. I feel like something is missing. Like I used to be really bold. I used to be so bubbly. I used to be so confident. I used to never say I'm sorry every 5 seconds. I never used to, you know, give a fuck. I feel like I'm always tiptoeing around what I'm saying, and it was so annoying. I'd always stutter. I'd always lose my voice. I would always, you know what I mean? And I feel like people don't realize how connected we are with our physical and emotional. Like I used to have really bad um like I used to go into one session, my voice would be fine, then next thing you know, it will just go and underperform completely. It's because I never felt like I had a voice, especially in that space. Like the producer was a bellend. Like I was not able to actually open up or like tell him like what I wanted in my music. But it even worked in like places where I just didn't feel heard, like my voice would just go. But I was like, Mom, I just don't know what that connection is. I'm really stressing with it. I feel like there's a void. There's a part of me that's really like missing, and it's really, it was really sad. Like I remember I was like crying with her in the office. I was like, Mom, I just feel like something so necessary in my character is just shoved in a box or gone. Anyway, so then I was like, Mom, what should I do? So she was like, why don't you talk to a homeopath? This is one specifically, shout out to her. Like I recommended her to a friend because like I really feel like she made such difference. And I wasn't open minded to it. This is why I'm so curious about this whole placebo debate around homeopathy. I feel like even in medicine, like they're very hypocritical in some ways because they'll use arnica, which is a homeopathic remedy, but like any others are like, that's a bit too far. What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway, but And I was like, okay, why don't you have a call with her, tell her everything that you're feeling, write down notes, do whatever, you know. And I was like, okay, cool. So we did that. I told her everything. And I was like, it was interesting because on the phone I was like, I don't give a shit about him. I don't give a shit about what he feels. And it's like, and she was like, you know, you may think that, but I feel like you still do. And I think that's totally okay. And I feel like you may not want to associate yourself with that person, with that side of you, but it is there. And I feel like we should talk about it. So we did. It was a good long conversation. I don't really know what I was saying. I don't really want to get into it. And yeah, I took the remedy, and mind you, I'm still on the fence. Like at this point, I'm still on the fence about it. I'm like this probably won't even work. Oh my god, what the fuck? I remember when we had our like follow up call. I was like, what the fuck did you give me? Like, do you want me to die? Like, it was so it was so much. It was so much. Like, for the first week, I was non-stop crying. I was crying, 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 crying all the time. I did not know what I was crying about, just crying, crying, crying. And was like, she understood it was the remedy at work. Like, she obviously is very open-minded and very, you know, believing of this because she's studying it. You know, obviously the fuck. Anyway, and she was I'm so grateful for my mum. Like, she's just so patient. I mean, you gotta be. You gotta be in this situation. Anyway. But yeah, it was just like I was just crying a lot. And then this next couple of weeks in, I was just like so hormonal. Like, I was angry. Oh my God. I don't know what fucking happened to me. Yeah. Was making our way to yoga and I just crashed out. I was crashing out in the car, screaming, just like fucking losing it. Like, it came out of nowhere. I was just angry. Like, I was so angry. One minute I was okay, next minute I was just pissed off. Like, I was just so angry, right? And then in the midst of that, oh, sorry, excuse me. Oh, what the hell? I'm like birthing myself like I'm a baby. In the midst of that, I just lost all passion for everything that I wanted to do, for everything I considered myself to love. I hated all of it. I just no, I didn't even hate it. I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing towards it. I was like, I don't even know when it happened, but I just realized that, like, I want to make it. No, not wanna. I will make it as an artist, as a recording artist, a songwriter. I've had this planned out for years. It took me so long to really, really come to terms with it because fuck the school system. They were like, oh, I think, you know, music's a bit of a hobby. And why is it a GCSE and an A level? And why is it a Royal Music Academy too? No, like, I don't know. It's so funny. That's a whole other rant for another day. Anyway, but yeah, it took me so long to come to terms with it. And then once I was in it, I was in it. Especially when I went to a music uni, I was like around it so much. It was post COVID. I was even more motivated because me being still. Anyway, it was just a lot, right? So I was really invested, of course. Like, when you really put your head towards something, when you put your mind towards something, that's not how you phrase it. When you put your mind to it, you just want to crack on. And then suddenly it was just like, I suddenly just did not care. And I feel like the way I'm narrating this doesn't fucking. Imagine you are obsessed with who you want to be and you're so excited to be that person. And you, every single day, you're working towards being that person. And then suddenly you just don't associate yourself with that person at all. You just don't want to be it. I never freaked out so much in my life. I was like, okay, so what do I do now? Like, I was really in that space for like a good couple of weeks where I was like, I don't want to do music anymore. And it kind of stemmed from the person that caused me all this pain. Didn't even, in retrospect, but I put them on such a pedestal to say that they, you know, they really introduced me into music. And like, it just made me, I don't know, it was just suddenly like as if it felt like I was doing it for someone else rather than for myself. So I think what that really was my body recognizing, I don't know, my body dropping that pressure for me to pursue music for someone else or have that partial desire to pursue music to prove something to them. You know what I mean? To be validated by them. And then I actually discover it for myself. But in that space, I said, what the fuck? Hell no. I said, no. No, 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 no. And girl, I was in such a space where I was like, I dropped everything. Like my personality, everything just felt unauthentic, not built up for me, but built up for someone else. And that's exactly what the remedy was for in retrospect. Like I didn't actually think about it until talking about it now. So maybe it's a good thing that the last video deleted, because I didn't come to that epiphany until now. But yeah, like I was so I was so scared. I was so scared. And I was like, oh my god. And it explains so much. This is where I got a bit spiritual psychosis about it. So don't mind me. This is the remedy. I blame the remedy. But at the time I was like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. It's like the universe didn't want me to fucking make music anyway. Didn't want me to pursue music anyways, because every single avenue I took, or every single what am I trying to say? Every single avenue I took with music, it always fucking went wrong somewhere. Like it went sour within the relationship I had with them, or it ended up becoming toxic in some way, or something just got in the way, and I was like, maybe that's the universe's way of telling me to stop. Like actually just give up, because you're not gonna get anywhere. And then I went even further, and I was like, I got even further. I'm not embarrassed about this, I just find it funny. And was like, maybe like people are just born to, they're given a destiny at birth, and no matter how much they'll try to be against that destiny, they'll inevitably end up the way they were destined to be. So I was like, well, I must have been born to fail, because everything in my life, I was in such a negative fucking space. Like, girl, chill the fuck out. It's not that serious. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But like, I was like, yeah, maybe I'm just literally set out for failure. Like, maybe I should just need to cut my losses and find something else to do. And it was so sad. I was really grieving. Like, I was really grieving myself. I was like, this is not me anymore. Like, I don't know who I am. I completely lost who I was. And it's crazy how much like you can mold to someone else's um desires that were never met anyways. But that constant drive to try and be that person, you don't even realize it gets to a point where it's ritual, where it's habitual, where it's just the way you are. That's just, you're literally customized to their desires, to their needs. You're not your own person. And you realize you never really were your own person, because you're living for someone else. You're not living for yourself. And it was so sad. It was so triggering. Like I I don't actually remember much, actually, but I was like, okay, let me just. This sounds so all right, Charlie. You really tried it. I write anyways. I haven't written in a while, and I feel like I need to. I've been thinking about this for days. I've been trying to get back into it. It's just not the same. I don't know why that is. I'm not gonna force it, but what it is, what it is. But I was like, during this time, I was writing. I was an avid writer, and I was like, Charlie, we are going to be off of all devices for 2 to 3 days. You are gonna give your phone to mom. You're only gonna be on YouTube to do like meditations and yoga, like really ground yourself. Like I really felt called to do that, and I feel like that's the only right way to go about. Like I'm glad I did that. Like, are you kidding? Um, but yeah, I remember I was waking up at like 6 in the morning, taking Kai out for a lovely walk. This is before he had hurt himself, bless him. And um I brought the diary with me everywhere. I cooked with intention, wasn't listening to any music, just was in my own head, but like not in a way that was crippling. It was actually really refreshing. I really encourage people to do that if you have the capacity to do it. I understand that I was in a privileged spot, like I didn't have a job at the time. I just finished uni ish. So I had plenty of time to do that. But yeah, waking up early and really detoxing and really grounding myself. Doing meditations with Kai. He's so cute. He really reads my energy, all of our energies. For a Cocker Spaniel, people make out that Cocker Spaniels are just too much. They're not. I think they're really affectionate creatures. And he's so loving and really compassionate. And that was one thing, actually, when I was really crashing out, he was so sweet. He was like leaning on my arms and just like just being there for me, but not being too much, like not being overbearing. God, like I love dogs. Like I love Kai so much, and I actually hate to call him a dog. I feel like I've said this so many times. He is just so much more than that to me. I just love him. Anyways, but he was so beautiful throughout the entirety of that time for me, and I'm so lucky to have such a great dog. To have such a great Kai Kai. I love him. Um but yeah, so you go on nice walks. I was making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like properly intentional, nutritional, yummy food. I was doing guided meditations, yogas. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you get it. And it was really good. Like I really needed to write about everything I was feeling, anything that came to my mind. Um, what music meant for me. I feel like people sometimes self-conscious, like just kind of going with whatever comes to your mind is really good writing, but also having a topic of discussion and then flowing within that is also so impactful. I didn't really do that. I was just like, I'd write about whatever, and then wherever it took me, I would just let it. But yeah, I was talking about like does music mean anything to me? Talked about the root of it, like, and like dug really deep, and then was talking about, the fear I have, the fears, anxieties. Just I'm just gonna generalize it to that way, otherwise we'll be here for 20 fucking years. Um, but yeah, it was just like it was so needed. But like, and then after like making my way out of it, I was slowly. This is so weird, guys. Um, the best way to describe how I felt within my body was kind of like, I always say the BoJack Horseman intro. You know where he's just like dissociative and like everything just passing by him. That, and also Mirror, Black Mirror, and uh the episode where the husband puts the woman's like the dead wife's like mind in her head. I just feel like I was watching my life from a third person, like it wasn't me. Um which is so scary, but it's a very common thing, and I don't think people even realize it until they are back in their body. Like I was writing about this for days after that shift happened, because I was like, I cannot believe I was living for 4 years outside of my body. Like even up till now, like I'm literally getting goosebumps in this fucking hot room. Hot car. But I was so disconnected from myself, and it just and I think about when I'm even talking to you now, when I'm talking to anyone, when I'm just being myself now, I feel so together. Like I feel like all the dots have been connected and I've been colored in as well. Like I just feel so fucking amazing in that way. And also so empathetic of my past self. Like I really feel for myself, because I was so vulnerable. I was really vulnerable, and I wonder how people were looking at me, because I felt weird. I felt off. You know what I mean? I felt like I wasn't in my body. Like I felt exactly how I was, and I feel like that definitely couldn't have possibly not have translated in some way. You know what I mean? Like I was not with it at all, and I feel people could see that. People could definitely see that, because if I could feel that and it was so extreme, and I just feel like all the people that ever did me dirty within that time are fucking evil. Because what the hell? It was so obvious. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't, but maybe it was, and that's something that I'll just never know, and not know how to exactly feel about it. But yeah, so it was just really interesting when I was writing and reflecting on this like experience. The first couple of weeks I was crying like a baby, and then the following couple of weeks I was like a teenager, hormonal, and the final years I was like an adult. It was like I was reparenting my body. I was giving myself the grace that I was never given as a kid. um yeah, as ever in my family household. So being that parent for me has actually given me such a stronger position in my authority, in the way I am with myself. I'm so protective of myself now. It's like I'm literally my own guardian. I don't know how to explain it because everyone's like, well, you look out for yourself anyway. Do you know what I mean? What you mean you're your own guardian? It's a bit fucking dramatic. No. Like, I am so protective of myself in the way where I'm just like, I'm defending myself a lot more. I'm not fucking letting anyone get to the position where they can actually hurt me. You know what I mean? I've got that guard up and it's so powerful. It's so fucking powerful and I can't believe it. One second. Back. Mum? I need to stop calling Chelsea mum. I keep on calling Chelsea mum and mum Chelsea. It's just too many names in the fucking house right now. It's stressing me out. But she's making me a salad, which is so sweet. What was I gonna say? But yeah, no, it's just something so powerful. And I can't believe it. All this time, but I don't regret it taking me so long at all. I feel like it was all meant to work out this way. I'm so grateful that I was able to have the remedy during a time where I had so much time with myself. You know, if I was working a job, if I was studying at uni, if I was, doing all of those things, I would not be able to really sit with myself at all. So I'm really grateful. Like I can't regret that it's taken me so long. It all worked out for a reason. And I really do believe that the remedy, I'm gonna blur that out maybe. You can't see the play. I really do believe that um sorry. I really do believe that it made such a difference and I'm in my body. Like, for those that get it will get it. Wow. Like, I really recommend people to be, that open-minded. I feel like one thing that is so different about homeopathic remedies and, doctor, I don't condone um the use of medical, do you know what I mean? Like, at all. I'm pretty hybrid. You know what I mean? I feel like if that will do the job, that will do the job. If you can go for like, I feel like it's all about balance. But also recognizing that medicine is only meant and built for one symptom or a broad symptom, a broader issue rather than that one specific thing. Like, we are, sorry, I'm not explaining this well. We're all very different from one another. The idea that one medicine will work for another person, like that, like if it works for, a couple of people, then it will work for everyone else, is so unfair. And I feel like a lot of people have really struggled with some medication where it's had really bad side effects, where it's caused depression, where it's got a plethora of like side effects, and it's just like, is it really worth putting my body through something or seeing a medicine through if I'm not really reaping anything more than the side effects? You know what I mean? But I don't condone. Like, I feel like totally take the medicine if it's, if it's really working for you. But I feel like people should definitely use homeopathy too. I feel like she listened to every single thing. She asked about dreams. She asked about my physicality, how I'm feeling in my body. You know what I mean? She talked about everything about me. It's customized to me. And she isn't expensive. Like, there, you can find people that are not expensive. And I understand that is a privilege in itself to be like, yeah, I got. Okay, I've currently got my mum's. Why is this so low? 1 second. Which way is the camera? Oh, you're there. Is that you? No. What? Where the fuck are you coming from? Here. Okay. Right. Okay. This is probably gonna be upside down, so I'm gonna have to flip it. I'm just gonna quickly wrap this one up because my phone overheated. But yeah, I just really think that it is so. I would really recommend it because I wasn't open minded to it at all. Like, I really wasn't, you know. And I was just like, let me just try it. If not, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I hate saying that because I feel like movies have really triggered the fuck out of people and been like, oh my god, like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? And then it's like thunder and rain, and then someone gets struck by lightning. Like, fucking hell, like. But it is true. You just got to be open minded to it. But yeah, I think that's really it for this episode. I'm gonna go back in and then come back out in a bit once my phone's cooled down because I've got more storage on my phone anyways, and I don't want to take up my mum's iPad space. And I will be talking about so this is the first episode. I did the last thing I filmed was They're going to be the next episode after this because it needs to connect. But the following topics are going to be about figures. It's going to be about maturing with conditions. And yeah, I'm going to sneeze. Bye.